we said that an objective summary was like a description of the events that happen in a piece of text. An objective meaning without any opinions. It's just giving the facts and the information of what happened, right? And I should say it's a description of kind of the main events, right? We don't need every single detail, but kind of the big important main events. Okay, so we are working on this. If you're looking at your paper, the left-hand column. In the left-hand column, we're talking about, we're summarizing each scene of the story. So we had scene 1 was finished for us. We said, and then so that talks about Jacob Marley being the ghost. And then scene 2, we summarized by saying, Scrooge's nephew visits to invite him to Christmas dinner. Scrooge resents the invitation, declines the invitation. He says Christmas is nonsense. There are a couple of men coming to solicit donations for the poor, and Scrooge refuses to give money to the poor, saying that they should go to the workhouses.
He says that in front of a poor.
That's what they're for. And then we said, finally, Bob Cratchit asked for Christmas Day off, right? And then wished him a Merry Christmas before he left. Okay, so now we are on to scene 3. And everybody, I did give you a copy of Act 1 yesterday. Let's get these scenes summarized so that we can move on to the next thing. So look at Act 1, Scene 3, and what happens there?
Act 1, Scene 3.
What happens in Act 1, Scene 3? Ariam.
The room starts to thunder and shake, and that's when Marley, I think, is coming.
Okay, so Scrooge gets home, he's by himself, and there are all kinds of strange things happening in his home, right? Like all this kind of strange phenomena. So, and Scrooge is a little bit confused by it. Let's write that. So Scrooge gets home.
Act 1, Scene 3, the second page, go ahead. On the left column.
Mister, just to make sure we aren't doing the develop theme yet.
We are not doing the develop theme yet. There. So Scrooge returns home alone, and all sorts of strange phenomena start to occur, and he's pretty confused by it. Then what happens? Ariam said it's the ghost of Marley appearing, right?
Yeah.
So Jacob Marley, the ghost of Jacob Marley appears. Okay, and what happens after he appears?
The ghost of present or past.
Well, so Marley just appears. Actually, past doesn't come in scene 3. You could be looking in your scene 3.
How you snuck in here and how you kind of need to change your ways.
Okay, so Jacob Marley tells him how he is stuck he's actually stuck in purgatory. Why? Why is he stuck there?
Because he was a bad person.
Yeah, because he didn't care about people. He wasn't a very nice guy, right? So he tells him, so that's very, very important to the story, right? That's really, really important that we have that information. So Marley, I think there should be a space there, sorry, tells Scrooge that he is stuck in purgatory for being an uncaring person. And then, what does he tell him? He basically tells him that, he's gonna have other ghosts come to visit, right?
Weren't they spirits? Spirits and ghosts is the same thing.
It's in a janitor and a custodian's, it's a different thing, I think.
Okay,
They're not direct sentences.
so Marley really kind of sets up the scene, right? The exposition kind of sets it up for us. Okay, Act 1, Scene 4.
Can you go back?
Oh, right, kind of quickly.
Okay.
So you guys should have your Act 1, Scene 1 open. Yep, I see some people do. And you should be looking so that you contribute, so that we can go kind of quickly with this about what is happening in those scenes. I know there's one scene that's kind of mislabeled, isn't it? Act 2. There's like 2 Scene 4s.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good to move on? Okay. I want to make sure, I just want to quickly make sure this isn't going on. Okay. The other people. Okay. Okay, what happens in Act 1, Scene 4?
Act 1, Scene 4, Marley only becomes visible and like you can only hear him, but Scrooge can't hear him.
So what is Marley saying? Yeah, so Marley appears, he's talking, who's he talking to? Just the audience?
Yeah.
Marley talks to the audience, and what does he tell the audience?
He says that from this point forward, I shall be quite visible to you, but invisible to him. Smile.
Okay, what was that?
From this point forth, I shall be quite visible to you, but invisible to him. That's what
Okay, that he's gonna be visible to the audience, but not to Scrooge.
Yeah.
Okay, and what else does he tell him? What else is he telling the audience? What is the audience going to see occur? Sam?
The clocks start playing tricks on him.
No.
He's gonna
That
believe
people
or
feel my presence.
Scrooge is gonna start to believe or whatever.
Bah humbug.
Scrooge.
Let's see.
Stress.
On Scene 4. He says,
Where did you get that balloon?
You got it from.
he says, from this point forth, I shall be quite visible to you, but invisible to him. He will feel my presence, nevertheless, for unless my senses fail me completely, We are, you and I, witness to the changing of a miser. That one, my partner in life, in business, and in eternity, that one Scrooge. See him now. He endeavors to pierce the darkness with his ferret eyes. See him now. He listens for the hour. So what is the audience going to see happen?
Scrooge like begging.
You and I are going to witness the
Oh, see
changing
him
of
change.
a miser.
Change him from being a miser to a good person.
Okay, he doesn't say how he's going to change, does
He
he?
infers it.
It can go worse.
The changing of a miser. Well,
He
yeah.
doesn't. He just
Jameson,
says,
Jameson.
you are
is that a
going to
challenge?
see a change in this miser. You cannot see that, but, okay. So, so Marley appears and tells the audience that they're going to witness the changing of Scrooge. No, this is scene 4. Act 1, scene 4. And then what happens?
Let's go.
Nope. Okay, so, he also says, you see, he does not with faith believe in me fully, even still. Whatever will it take to turn the faith of a miser from money to men? Okay, so changing him from money to believing in men, and then who appears? Very important. Who appears? Sam.
The ghost of Christmas past.
Okay, the ghost of Christmas past appears.
Do we have Spanish after this?
Yep. For an hour.
No.
No,
30
it's not.
minutes.
Then we have P.
Okay, well, we have Spanish P. We're not in the class though, chill.
Okay, we can move on
Did you see if it's natural
To-
in this class?
Act 1, Scene 5. You should all be looking and skimming over Act 1, Scene 5. And I guess we should focus on what Scrooge sees and what he feels. Would you say those are the major events that occur? What he sees and then what his kind of reaction to what he sees? So, as you are skimming Act 1, Scene 5, and someone besides Ariam or Logan, tell me what is important in Act 1, Scene 5, and think about what Scrooge sees and his reaction to what he sees. Nathan skimmed Act 1, Scene 5 to be trying to find out what's important in that scene. What does Scrooge see? What is his reaction?
My sister.
Okay, so he's brought back. Is that the first thing he sees? Yes?
We saw the ghost of
No,
Marley.
he sees.
Yeah, we see the ghost of Christmas past.
He said
Well-
he sees past and Marley. He's talking about it.
In Act 1, Scene 5? Where is he brought first? And what does he notice?
His old
Yeah,
board
he's a
music.
boy.
He's a boy. What is he recognizing?
His little sister
Hometown.
or sister.
His hometown. He's recognizing the places where he is. Like, he hasn't done this before. He hasn't gone anywhere with a ghost before. And
I don't think anybody else.
he's noticing, he's recognizing his childhood home, and how is he feeling about that?
Sad.
Lonely. Well, not lonely.
Empty.
Kind of, well, does he have strong feelings?
No.
Discouraged.
He
Yeah, he
says, he sees a field. Scrooge says, "Good heaven, I was bred in this place. I was a boy here."
You were bred.
And Marley says, "You see this Scrooge is stricken by feeling, conscious of 1,000 odors floating in the air, each one connected with 1,000 thoughts and hopes and joys and care long, long forgotten. This one, this Scrooge, before your very eyes, returns to life among the living." So is he feeling emotions?
Yeah.
A lot.
He is. He's feeling emotional. Why does he say he's returning to life among the living? It has to do with him feeling emotions.
He's kind of gaining reality and conscious of what he's been doing and how it affects people.
Well, I think he's feeling something. Isn't it human to have feelings and feel emotions?
No, feel nothing.
Happiness, sadness, remembering things, and if you're not feeling those things, that's not really living. So almost like he was dead figuratively, right? Because he wasn't feeling anything. But all of a sudden he's overwhelmed by emotions. So Scrooge is feeling emotional,
Yeah.
going back to his childhood home.
He's dead but alive.
Oops. What? Wait a minute. Okay? So Scrooge is taken back to childhood, to his childhood. Okay? And then you guys said he sees his sister.
Sissy.
What happened to her?
She
She
died.
died.
She died, a young woman, okay. Okay, what else does he see?
Is Phil Lick, is that next scene?
Act 1, Scene 5, what?
Is Fiddlewig,
Fezziwig is this scene,
is it this or next scene?
this scene.
Alright, so Fiddlewig, he sees Fiddlewig.
And what is Scrooge at that time?
He's a young man.
A worker of him.
An apprentice to Fezziwig.
Okay, he sees himself as a young man,
Fiddlewig.
an apprentice. Whoops. Okay, what does he remember?
How his boss was so caring.
Yeah, he remembers this very generous, caring, kind employer, his boss. Okay. how does he feel? What does he call himself?
A loser, an incompetent fool.
He calls himself a fool, right?
Oh, he actually calls himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did call himself a
But
fool.
like his younger self was like, oh, whatever, well.
Yeah, he sees his younger self being like kind of arrogant about it, right? Like, oh, she's a fool, right, for breaking up with me. But his older self is feeling something different. His older self is feeling calling his younger self a fool for letting her leave him.
Is,
Right?
How do you like
his
not
girlfriend
let
breaking his heart?
No.
Or breaking
You're
up with
staying
someone?
here.
No.
Do we know his girlfriend's, like, identity?
We don't really need to.
What? That made no sense.
Okay? Does he have regret?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, how do you like not let her leave him?
Well, it's basically like being nicer.
He could have.
Maybe pay
It was because
attention.
all he cared about was money. Or
No,
polygamy.
you did
He
not
say
like
that. Right. He could have tried, right? He could have said, I'll change. He could have and meant it and tried to change. He could have said how much she meant to him. Right? He could have shown some caring. He just talked about the agreement that they had, right? I'm wondering, there's like a glare, and I think if they zoom in, they'll be able to see it, but I'm gonna move it over here. Maybe we'll be able to see it better. Still not really, but maybe if you zoom in.
Are we doing this with both
I legit thought
Oh wait, never mind.
Okay. Everybody got this? All right, we're finished with Act 1. We're going to Act 2. Wow.
Craft it.
Yep.
Wait, doesn't this have to be in a
Oh,
box?
sorry. Yep. Oh, no, no.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, this is scene 2. I'm sorry. I hadn't moved it down because I was letting people write.
Oh, so, not that much.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
It's Act 2, Scene 2.
Oh, present appears
Oh,
in two.
this, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, that's
This stays there.
Rouge.
And what is the ghost of Christmas Present doing as he leads him through the streets?
Talking.
Speaking.
What?
Oh, sprinkling